how much better, here it is. How much better do you want your lifestyle to be? That's the question. How much better do you want your lifestyle to be? We're going to go through a bunch of things today. We're going to go through 6 steps to just totally increasing our mindset, right? This is the number one. This is where everything starts. Everything starts with how we are viewing our world today. The way that we view this, what is going through our head? Is it increasing our productivity? Is it increasing our value to the world? Remember, when we're starting out, it's all about what we do to go out there to provide value. That brings in our income, okay? And then we bring in so much income that there's surplus. And with that surplus, we're able to invest in assets. We're able to create wealth. All right, we're buying these assets, we're creating wealth, and you know what what happens when you create wealth? That makes little baby monies. All of a sudden, your wealth is providing value to the community. Then you don't. It's a scale. You're doing all the work, you're working it, you're putting in the time, you're talking to people, you're being proactive, you're calling up distressed property owners, you're pre-qualifying them, you're doing your lead follow-up, you're going on appointments, you're selling those deals, whatever it is, you're doing it, you're making money, and then all of a sudden, at some point, these assets start taking over, and that's when you get that true freedom where you don't have to go out there personally and put out an extreme amount of value so that you can get an extreme amount of income. But none of that happened. That's all beautiful. I get it, Brent. That makes sense. That's fantastic. That's all great. But if this isn't right, nothing happens. Nothing happens. So let's go over this. Let's go over these 6, okay? Right here. 6 steps to a strong mindset. That's you right there. Big biceps. Okay, this is great. All right, this is something that has stuck with me since 2007. This is something that was taught to me by my coach when I was a real estate agent. His name's Mike Ferry, and he has a big organization. And these are the 3 principles that he talks about for creating a healthy mindset: attitude, approach, and expectation. It starts with the attitude. What's your attitude towards yourself? What's your attitude towards this business? What's your attitude towards your goals, right? What is your attitude? It all starts with that. I mean, if I'm looking at anything to bring somebody into my world, whether that be personal or professionally, attitude is number 1, not even close. You can feel it. It is magnetism, and a good, healthy attitude towards yourself first and what you can accomplish. Because I'm telling you, without a doubt, every single person watching this can be a successful real estate entrepreneur. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what your financial situation is. I don't care. But if you have the attitude that you can do this without a doubt, and listen, attitude gets thrown around. I get it. It's kind of like a word that kind of feels old school, and it kind of feels played out, and it kind of feels tired. But it is, I mean, that's the platform that we're building this thing off of. Do you have that attitude? What is the attitude towards yourself, towards this business, to the economy, to everything going on? What is your attitude? Number 2 is, what's your approach? Ooh, now we've got a great attitude, but do we have the skills? We have a great attitude, but are we bringing energy and enthusiasm to it? Are we watching our energy management? What is the approach that we're having every single day, right? What about our approach to build our confidence? Well, confidence comes from understanding, and understanding comes from building your skills, right? If you feel really confident that you can do something because you've done it over and over and over and over again, all of a sudden it becomes second nature. You're not even thinking about it. You're in flow state. Approach. Next is expectations. What's your expectations for your growth, for building your wealth? What's your expectations of what are you going to do today? What's your expectations from today, for today? For real, what is your expectations? Is your expectations that you're going to find somebody today that absolutely needs you in their life to solve their problem with their real estate? Expectations. We find what we're looking for. That's how this world works. So what are your expectations? Attitude, approach, expectations. That's number one. If you have a team, if you're building a team, if you're putting together a company culture, this is what it's built off of. Attitude, approach, expectations. Huge. All right, next. This is incredible because this is what I think really plays into a lot of our mindset issues that we have. And this is me personally as well. This isn't me like, oh, this is you. No. Like, what are you focusing on? Because what you focus on expands. So are you obsessed? Are you learning everything that you can about being a successful entrepreneur? Are you focusing and being positive about when you see somebody else succeeding? Or are you naturally negative? Are you naturally a little salty? Are you naturally a little bit, hey, wait a second. That person's not as good as I am. Why don't I have those nice things, right? What you focus on expands. So are you going to focus on positive or negative? It's very simple. You got to really, really watch. What are you putting into your brain? What are you watching at night? Are you watching Succession and thinking that business is cutthroat and everybody is out to get you? Or are you watching documentaries on successful people that do incredible things with the money that they make? It just depends, right? What you focus on expands. Next, I love this. Idle hands are the devil's tools. Have you ever heard that? I've said it a couple times on this show, but idle hands are the devil's tools. We do the stupidest things when we're bored. We have the dumbest ideas when we're bored. When we don't have something that we can proactively go out and do, or when we think that we're too smart to do the things that actually work, like picking up the phone and being proactive, like going to a door and having a conversation, like going to a meetup, a real estate meetup and building a squad, right? Idle hands do the devil's work. That's when we start getting into all sorts of different weird stuff. Or then we just slip into entertainment world. Well, we're not in that phase. There's phases in life. There's seasons in life. There's a season of hustle. There's a season of being super hungry. There's a season of going out there after our ambitions and letting that be the wind behind our sails that's pushing us forward and building our momentum. But if we're just like, you know what? I'm going to let this creative avoidance sneak in. I'm going to work on some things that aren't really income producing, but I feel like I'm a good business person because I'm doing these things. Or we stay in education loop where we learn and we learn and we learn and we learn and we never talk to people. We never go out there and proactively put ourselves into their lives, right? Idle hands. Really watch it. What's going on throughout your day? We have 24 hours. We have 168 hours in a week, but we're only guaranteed today. So what are we doing in the times that we can be productive? And are we being as productive as possible? And I'm not saying you have to be, redlining all the time during this season of hustle. Not at all. But you would be surprised what 2-3 hours of being super, super focused and proactive will do if you consistently do it all the time. All right? Next is this exercise. Matt, will you pop this up? This is on in TTP Insider. Guys, you could get it from TTP Insider. And this is a really excellent exercise on really understanding why you want to be a successful real estate entrepreneur, why you want to build wealth, why you want to get rejected so many times by being proactive, why you want to go through the ups and downs and help people out that are in really rough situations and their emotions are really high. So you ask yourself 7 times, why do I want to be successful in this? Because there's surface level. Well, I want to make money. Well, why do you want to make money? Because I never had any money and I know what that feels like. Okay, well, why don't you want to feel like that? And then it goes down and down and down. And then you get down to the root core of why you actually want to do this. It's a phenomenal exercise that I put all of my TTP coaching students through. Because it really goes down to, okay, what's the focus here? Because when you're getting wiggly out there, when you're like, inconsistent, or your mindset's not really there, or you're kind of like, I don't know how much I want to put in today, or there's other things that I want to do that are more fun, and everybody else over there is having fun, and I'm over here, on the phones, or I'm over here responding to text messages or going on appointments or whatever else, right? You get back to why you're doing it. And it's not a lot. I'm telling you, 20 hours a week in this business will change your life. 40 hours, you're just there twice as fast. We got 168 in the whole week. So why are you doing this? Go deep with it. Don't go surface level. And this exercise is really interesting for anything. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to build a big portfolio? Why do you want to have a better marriage? Why do you want to be a better father or mother? Boom, 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 all those things. It's really a powerful exercise for mindset. So you've got your why, you've got your attitude, you've got your approach, you've got your expectations. You understand that idle hands is when you usually do things that get you caught up and where you're not really productive, right? And then who's your personal board of advisors? I've been talking about this a lot lately. Who's your personal board of advisors? If you are a business, that old Jay-Z quote, right? I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. You're a business. You are a business. So who's your personal board of advisors? Matt, pop up the different parts of life to have somebody in. And listen, with your personal board of advisors, you can see there's personal and social, work and career, family, spiritual, financial, mind, intellect, and physical health. Who's your board of advisors here? Who's your board? And listen, this doesn't have to be somebody that literally you meet with at a table all the time. I have indirect board of advisors in every single one of these things that I'm pumped about. People that really go after it, people that are really inspiring, people that are really doing amazing things, the people that I listen to, the podcasts, the motivational stories that I listen to, the things that come in. Of course, there's real people on that board for sure, but it doesn't have to be, face to face. But who's on there? Who's your personal board? Because that's who you become. You become the people that you squat up with. You become the people that you surround yourself with. Are you surrounding yourself with really successful, healthy people that have great marriages and great lives? Right? That's your personal board of advisors. You get to build that. That's all customized. It could be anybody. As long as there's somebody that you can either have a conversation with or get some sort of content from, that's your personal board of advisors. So who are you listening to? Is it just you sitting out there by yourself making quick decisions based on your experience? Your experience is dog shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because you want to be something else. What is the lifestyle that you want? If you're staying into it and you're staying selfish with it and, this is the only experience that I've ever had, then you can't branch out for growth. Right? And then the last one is the strangest secret, Earl Nightingale, right? The strangest secret is you become what you think about. And that's why we did the first 5. Because the first 5 is supposed to build up that bulletproof mindset. Because when you have that bulletproof mindset, then you're positive. You have an incredible attitude. You have incredible enthusiasm. You're building your skills every single day. You see growth. You see curiosity. You see all of these things. You see motivation, which is all motivation is imagination. All of these things start growing and growing and growing and growing. And then all of a sudden you wonder, how do you become a millionaire? This is how you become successful in whatever you want to do, whatever goal it is. But it starts here. If this isn't right, then you're just starting and stopping all the time. Or worse yet, you build it up and then lose it all, right? The mindset, the strangest thing, we become what we think about all the time. So if you have a pen and paper, I want to do a little exercise for you. Because this is great. This is all cerebral. This is all rah-rah. This is pump up. This is good things to put into our brain, right? But let's get tactical here a little bit. What does it cost you to live? What does it cost you on a monthly basis to live? Because let me explain something to you. 95% of people break even. That's where they want to be. 95%. Look at the stats on how much are in savings in the average American. The most wealthy country, how much people have in savings. And it's not because there's not abundance. It's because of this. So let's take a look at this, and I'm going to challenge you here. All right, cost of living, your lifestyle is here. Okay, put that in. What is it, 2,000? 1,500? 10,000? 20,000? 7,500? What does it cost you, honestly? Your kids, your mortgage, your rent, your car, your food, your not like entertainment and stuff, but just like what does it cost you to actually live? And then next, what is your current income? What are you making? What are you bringing in right now? Right? And this is everything. This is your job. This is child support, alimony, dividends, investments, cash flow from rentals, whatever it is. What is your total income per month? And then what's your net worth goal? What do you want as your net worth goal? And this is very interesting because this is a whole different thing. Because net worth is you thinking about the future, not about right now. Right? Who do you have to take care of? Who's getting old in your family? Who needs special care? Do you have special needs? People that have special needs in your family? Do you have older parents that are getting older that need some help? Like, do you have a huge heart for charity? Do you just want to grow it as big as possible so that you can pass it down to your children and all of those and really change their financial future, give them a better footing for them to get started? It's crazy, right? It all boils into this. It all boils in, but we're in the tornado every single day. We're just trying to get past today. We're just trying to put in today. We're just trying to bring in enough income for today. But net worth is about the future because it's coming. It's coming. How do you want that to be? What do you want that to be? And then go through this, right? Your current income and your cost of lifestyle. What's your break-even number? Are you positive or are you right there? Because I'll tell you this. If you're not focusing on what your net worth goal is going to be, you're going to stay like this in your business. Or you're not going to do anything because your current income is already paying for your expenses. So you know what? I can fall back on that. Life's cool. It's not going to help you with your net worth unless you're hoping on some sort of big inheritance at some point. But I'm not. I know a lot of people on here aren't. So if you put this in the forefront, if you really, really, really make this important, then all of a sudden, when you start going here and you start pushing, you understand that it's going to take a long time to hit that goal, that you need to keep doing this over and over and over again. And this brings me to a phenomenal post that I saw the other day. Will you put that post up, Matt? I love this. This is unbelievable. 90% of success can be boiled down to consistently doing the obvious thing for an uncommonly long period of time without convincing yourself that you are smarter than you are. Woo! Right? Oh, I love that. It is the absolute truth because we get that $50,000 check and we are electric. I got goosebumps literally even just saying that. I'm not joking. I have literal goosebumps just saying that. That's what happens to us. We're like, oh, yes. But then if we understand it's a drop in the bucket, then we can reset. Then tomorrow we can start back at zero. Zero leads, zero opportunities, zero money in the bank, zero net worth, all of these things. And we stay there for an uncommonly long amount of time without thinking that we're too smart to actually put in the work, and we win. That's the mindset. That's that season of hustle. That season of hustle is that time where you're going out there and your skills, your voice, your personality, the sparkle in your eyes, the fire in the belly, the electricity in your feet are going out there every single day providing value, getting income in so that you can buy assets, so that you can create a net worth that is going to help you live the lifestyle. It's not going to help you. It's going to make you live the lifestyle that you want. So again, what is the lifestyle that you want? What's the lifestyle you want? Because it's right here. Some of it's here. Most of us think it's here because, the bigger houses, the better cars, the clothes, the restaurants, the trips, the everything, that's all here. But you want to live a whole life like that? It's here. So keep going. Keep pushing. Every single person can achieve the goal. No doubt about it. If you talk to enough people, distressed property owners, you will win. You will win because you are going to create yourself first, and then you're going to create a company around that, and then that company is going to do all of these things to build this up, and then you're going to build up a portfolio of assets that gets you this. That's the mindset, baby. That's what's so exciting about this business. It is pushing, pushing, pushing. But idle hands are the devil's tools. So what else do we have to do? So let's get out there and let's get it, especially today. Whenever you're watching this, if you're watching it live or you're watching it replay, get after it today. All right? I love you. Awesome. Welcome to Real Estate Investing Live with Brent Daniels and my man, Rafael Cortez. Rafael?
Boom. Mind blown. I love that.
Mindset.
I love that. I mean, you really dialed it in. I mean, you nailed it down. It's those 6 steps to it. It just gives you the full blueprint, right? It's one of the things. It's a lot. It's a lot to consume and process, but it's real. It's true.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
One thing. I mean, I think that we have to consider when we're taking all these actions is what space are we coming from, right? And it's funny that you bring up mindset today because I've had that conversation 3 or 4 times over the last week. I don't know there's something in the water. It's bubbling up.
Yep.
I don't know if it's uncertainty in society as a whole or whatever, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
What space are we coming from, right? When we look at wholesaling, one of the challenges that my students were having was, we feel like we're taking advantage. That stigma is still there. It's really not, right? We have to come in with the mentality that we're here to help. We're creating something. We're building a solution for somebody else. And if you see it in good light, anything that you do after that comes from that good light.
That's it.
That perspective. So it's a beautiful way to change the paradigm.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, guys, this is a participation show. This is a question and answer show. We just warm up the first 20 minutes, and then we open this up to question and answers. Not only that, but we celebrate here. We celebrate your success for locking up deals, for closing deals. So be brave. If you have done something spectacular over the last couple of weeks, because we were gone last week, over the last couple of weeks, if you've closed a deal, locked up a deal, I want to celebrate. We want to ring this victory bell. Now, Alejandra is over here. She is grabbing all of the questions, so be nice to her. She is going through everything. She's going through Instagram. She's going through YouTube. She's doing it all. So if you and TikTok. So if you have questions, make sure that you put it in there. We want to answer them. So, listen, if there's questions about this mindset thing, if there's questions about the breakdown, make sure that you put them in there. I kind of wanted to give a lot. I wanted to shovel a lot in there because I want there to be participation. I want there to be questions. I want there to be thoughts. I want there to be comments. And listen, if you're doing something right now, you're driving around or you're at the gym or whatever you're doing and you don't want to, or you just don't want to comment, that's just not your style, just hit the like button. That really helps us out. It helps us to grow the channel. I don't know what it does to YouTube's algorithm, but it helps. So I'll mention that because that makes Matt over here happy. And when Matt's happy, everybody's happy. So let's crack this thing open and make sure that we get to as many questions as we possibly can over the next 90 minutes. Yeah. listen, that is, yeah. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a special like St. Patty's Day show where we just do it all in my terrible Mrs. Doubtfire voice. But that's hilarious. If you guys didn't see that, go back to Wholesale Hotline the first 20 minutes, and you'll check that out. After this, of course. Thank you, Alejandra. That's hilarious. Alejandra was not impressed by it. Everybody else thought it was hilarious, but Alejandra did not. We're just trying to get past today. I felt that. That's right. Yeah. It's the truth. We live in the moment. We absolutely live in the moment. But then what happens is that paralyzes you, right? It paralyzes you because then you're feeling the weight of everything. So just throw yourself into work. Throw yourself into having those conversations. Throw yourself into being proactive. That's why I love building businesses on being proactive, on being loud, on going out there and not waiting around, because it's the waiting times that crush us. It's the thinking times that crush us. Yes, I want you to expand your mind. Yes, I want you to expand your skills. Yes, I want you to practice conversations before you go on them. But you have to go out there. You have to get pushed out of the nest. You got to go see what the world's like. That's the experience. And the people that get there faster are more successful faster. And if you're successful faster, then you can be successful longer. It's just how time works. But we have one shot at this. It's a 400 trillion to 1 chance that we're even on this planet. It's the truth. I mean, it's a miracle. I know that sounds, whatever, played out, but it's the absolute truth. And we got one shot at this. So why not sprint for a while? Why not challenge ourselves? Why not build new muscles? Why not build new skills? Why not increase and grow? That's it. It's tough to do if you feel the weight of it every single day. Rebus. This is exactly what I need to hear at this exact moment. Everything happens for a reason. Thank you.
Boom.
Exactly. And just like you, Raph, I mean, it's mindset. Getting it consistent, staying consistent, and consistently taking action and doing it and not thinking that you're too smart. That is so. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, even today, Raph, sometimes I do things that I think are smart business things to do, and it's just silly. It's totally silly. You know what I mean? I'm trying to outsmart it, and just sticking and focusing and doing what we do, right? Finding ugly houses and getting big checks.
Yeah, 100%, man. And here's the thing, right? We can have the best systems, and we talk about processes, strategy, and what to do here, what the best list is, how to approach it, how to do this, how to bring people into the whole thing.
Yep.
You can have the best layout, the best blueprint out there, but if you don't have your mind right, if you don't have your attitude, if that energy within you, it's not aligned, nothing else matters. Right. Nothing else clicks. That's why you have great people with great business plans who are not succeeding. It's because the mindset, I mean, they have the skill set, they have all that stuff, they can do it on their own, but once you break into something a little bigger, things get convoluted, right? And then we start having concerns and worries. How am I going to make payroll? How am I going to grow this up a little bit? How am I going to, quote unquote, scale? The energy gets shifted. And then what happens? The mindset gets shifted. So, yeah, if that's aligned, everything else falls into place.
Right.
And it's science.
Well, and it's really interesting if you really look at this, Raph, from like anthropology and from us growing up in tribes and finding and doing all these things. Being an entrepreneur goes totally against our brain. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, people had specialists and everything, but it was all kind of joints and doing it. We're trying to break out
it's not safe
in
secure.
society and not just stay in these nice little go do this, be the cog in this wheel, go join this tribe, which is a company that you work for as an employee.
Right.
But don't do that. Go out there and start your own tribe.
Yeah. What?
You got to develop that skill.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Not promised tomorrow, so take action today. That's the truth. I am telling you, it is the truth. That analogy of an hourglass where you got sand at the top, sand at the bottom, and a teeny little thin, only 1 grain of sand, a couple grains of sand go through it at a time. That's present day. That's what it is, that little thin tube. The top is your future. The bottom is the past. And people want to live all in the past or all in the future because it's got all that sand in it, right? You're thinking about that. You're not thinking about that little squeezy little tube. That is the present. That's where everything happens. That's the action. That's where it's this tiny little thing, but it matters because all of that builds in, all of it. I love that analogy. It's the truth. Yes. SF Will, I need a mentor. Can you help? Absolutely. Listen, there are a ton of resources at ttpinsider.com. TTPinsider.com has a ton of resources. In there. Go in there if you enjoy what you're learning, you enjoy the resources, it clicks with you, it feels good in your gut. There's a million different places to sign up for a call with my team and figure out if you're ready for the coaching. But if you're ready for the coaching, it's intense, so be ready for the coaching. All right, TTP Insider. You're right. Y'all are so amazing, man. I love this show. It keeps me pumped, the whole channel. Thank you. That's the point. And make sure, listen. Like Leroy is talking about here, if you guys have not subscribed, make sure that you hit that subscribe button right now. Every single day we come out with things. And listen, I understand that we repurpose some of the show, little clips here on different days. I mean, I have incredible interviews with wholesalers from around the country. Had a phenomenal one with Jatarin on Tuesday. If you check it out after the show, it's so inspirational. And we have deal breakdowns in there, and then we repurpose some of the content so it's smaller and easier to digest, but it's something every single day to get in and be part of that. I want to be on your personal board of advisors. I want to be in there giving you the experience that I have and giving it to you so that you can get there a lot faster than I did. All right? Why do some people say there are 1 million vacant houses in the U.S. and some people say there are 12 million vacant houses? Which one is it? Well, based on the U.S. Census, it's 12 million. I mean, you could Google it. I mean, look at the 2020 census. I don't know. That's what they have on there. I mean, if somebody can pull it up and we'll pull it up. We'll pull it up on either this show or next show, Michael. But either way, that's a lot of houses.
That's plenty of houses.
I mean, $15,000 is the average wholesale deal.
Yeah.
In 2021, 2022 might be 20,000, but let's just say it's 15. If you do 10 of it, it's 150,000. 10. Let's say you do 10 deals for 150,000 this year. Okay? Out of 1 million vacant houses, 12 million is what's on the census. But maybe they're going off of USPS. So the United States Postal Service, if they have non-deliverable mail, that's a list of probably 1 million, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, 12 million's on the U.S. Census. Check it out. We'll pull it up. Well, and the other thing, real quick, the other thing is, let's say you do 20 deals, right? You do 20 deals a year. 300,000 average for 15,000 times 20, 300,000. Hopefully we're doing our math right.
Yeah, I think we got it. We got it.
And so you did 20 deals. And let's say in your business this year you worked 150 days, a third of the year. Let's say you worked 250 days. Let's say that you're putting in like some work. You're not working 365 days, but you're working 2/3 of the year, 250 days, and you do 20 deals. Well, what are you doing the other 230 days if you're not closing deals? Right?
Right. Yeah.
What are you doing? You're building up to that. You're finding those opportunities. You're doing these things, but there's so much potential. There you go. What is the difference between a wrap-around mortgage and a lease option? You want to tackle this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
A wraparound mortgage, creative financing, you're talking, or creative financing sub 2, I mean, the term gets kind of interchanged.
Yep.
You have a wraparound mortgage where you come in and actually assume the responsibility of the loan. So whatever's in place, when it comes to wraparound mortgages, we don't mess with FHA stuff. We'll drop it right there and then. If it's a conventional loan, there's ways to do that kind of stuff. Basically, like the 50,000-foot view is that you come in and then you assume the responsibility of the payment. They call it a document. Well, it's a document, right? But it's a tool that the wraparound mortgage comes in and then they assume the existing loan and then you start just paying on top of that, right? But the seller is still on the hook, so they're not completely released. It's not like the seller becomes the bank for you. Basically, that's what it comes down to. And a lease option, it's a completely different thing. It's not a seller financing deal. It's an option you're leasing the property, so literally you're renting the property with the option to buy. So say that you do a lease option for 5 years, you run with that for 5 years, and at the end of that 5 year, or within that 5 year period, you have the option to be the first right of refusal on buying that property. So they can't sell it to anybody else. You have the option. It's really a difference, but one is actually a financing instrument. The other one is it's a way to buy it.
Yep. Love it. Yeah, lease option is you have a lease agreement. You're renting it from them.
Yep.
And then in the future, see, the nice thing about lease options, it's really interesting. You go, okay, I'll lease this property for the next 5 years, and I want to have an option to buy it, but let's set the price of what I'm going to buy it for in 5 years right now. Right? Well, if somebody had that 5 years ago around the country, somebody's making a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're able to buy that property now. Let's just say you locked it in at $200,000 and that property's worth $350,000 now. Well, you get to buy a discounted property at $200,000 because you have that option. Now, what most people do is wholesale those options to somebody else. They go, hey, listen, do you want to buy this property in 5 years? I need money now. Give me 10 grand and you can have this, and I'll assign this lease option over to you. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Some creative financing. It's good. There it is. There she is. Jatarin. Yeah, you got to watch that after the show. Watch that podcast. It's phenomenal. Or listen to it. It's going to be on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast soon, but it's live now on the YouTube channel. Samantha, I'm trying to scale my business and trying to set a process in my business. What systems do you believe are essential when building out your business? Well, remember, there's 3 parts, Samantha. Lead generation, conversion of those leads into an agreement, and then exit strategy. So that's how you segment your business. Okay, so what are you going to do for lead generation? You're either going to pay for it through marketing and people call you. You're going to wait for it by building a network of people that refer you business, or you go out and earn it by being proactive and either calling or door knocking or texting, right? And then from there, you've got conversion. How many of those leads are turning into appointments? How many of those leads are turning into deals? And then from there, what do you want to do with them? Do you want to buy them? Do you want to do you want to buy them and hold them? Do you want to flip them, or do you want to assign them or wholesale them? Right? That's your option. So when you're looking at the systems in your business, if you're trying to scale it, it's going to be mostly organizing your leads and making sure that nothing slips through the cracks is going to be the bulk of it. So having a good CRM to make sure that it has tasks. Raphael built our CRM to make sure that everything's in there and it makes it really smooth and really keeps my sales guys accountable, my acquisition managers accountable to make sure when leads come in, which is my job is to rain make, baby. My job is top of the funnel. It's rain's coming in. How much are we collecting? Right? How much of that process are people coming in and working with me and my company? So processes make sure that you are keeping your people accountable to the goals. So you need to have a scoreboard. There's a phenomenal book called Traction, or EOS. EOS is phenomenal. That's Entrepreneur Operating System. Check out that book. Raf, this is your world. Go ahead.
We on that note, just because I'm so happy, I'm gonna have Gina Wickman on the podcast.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Creative attraction. So that's gonna be rolling out. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, it's systems. So there's so many different ways of doing it, right? If you're a solopreneur, you're doing things yourself. The systems are gonna be a little different, but you have to build them in a way that you can actually create stuff on top of it as you're plugging people into it. So yeah, having a good CRM is I think it's one of the essential things. If you have more than 100 leads, you need a CRM. Otherwise, you can still work them through a spreadsheet. There's not a lot of stuff that's going to be falling through the cracks and that sort of thing. Yep. But if you're dealing with more than 100, then yeah, consider something basic. You don't have to get too crazy on it. You can do like a basic, super simple setup in Podio for free, and then like a contacts app or something like that. And it's simple, and that'll get you through the beginnings until you monetize on a few deals. After that, I mean, look at the flow and then the conversion, your conversation. What things are you actually highlighting through the process of the conversion, right? From lead to prospect and deal, and then the disposition. So you have three main buckets, right? And then you just elaborate systems underneath those. But I think, I mean, it's on point.
Awesome.
Don't worry too much about the scaling of the business until you have that big, massive traction in place, right? Because if you try to scale too early, you're going to be scaling chaos, not a business, not systems. That's one thing to keep in mind.
Don't scale chaos.
That's bad.
That's like your business philosophy.
Yes.
Yeah. Love it. Brandon, don't know if this question is for here, but when using batch dialer and somebody answers, there's a huge delay before either one of us can hear each other. Just wonder, yeah, batch dialer, something's going on, man. I've heard a lot. I actually had a conversation with Evo this morning about it. So I would reach out, Brandon, to customer service and see what's going on. It's not good. It's not good. If it keeps going, you have to switch. And I told them that. Listen, I'm like Batch's guy, right? These are really great friends and everything. But if you can't talk to somebody, you can't win. So they need to figure it out. Yep, 100%. And they're working on it. So I don't know what's going on. Grant, look at that guy. What a picture. So happy. Look at that sparkle. Locked up and sold a $47,500 deal in 2 days of texting after taking a break from marketing for a few months. Consistency is the discipline I need to build. I want that 100K month business consistency. Grant, congratulations. Come on, man.
Ooh, that's a loud puppy.
That is awesome. Congratulations, Grant. $47,500. Remember, build your net worth. That is $47,500 is phenomenal, but it's not $40 million. It's not $10 million. It's not $25 million. What's on that goal, Grant? What's on that? What's that net worth goal? Keep it going. Don't get stuck right here, right with what's in front of you. Keep it going. Keep that money. Invest in assets, and you win. That's phenomenal. 100K a month business. You got this. You're going to need help with that. You're going to need to bring on really, really, really outstanding salespeople for that. And you will, without a doubt. But I'm telling you that if you're getting enough leads, that conversion part of your business has to be outstanding. Pre-qualifying, lead follow-up, and offer presentation. Those are the three parts. Go ahead.
Imagine this, right? Came back 2 deals of texting after taking a break.
Yeah.
47K. Granted, it's not going to be like that all the time, but imagine what, the rest of the 28 days of the month can do. So consistency is the big word in that whole question, I think. Grant, do whatever you did for 2 days and keep doing that thing over and over and over again.
Yep.
Do that for a while before you even consider taking a break or stopping.
I need you to have more enthusiasm so all 100 doesn't fall asleep over there.
Oh,
okay?
yeah. Do you have water? We'll splash some water on her face or something.
Get her a coffee. There we go.
So
she's resting up because she's going to the Phoenix Open in like 10 minutes.
She's got to be fully rested.
Yeah, she's preparing for that.
And a public announcement, I'm going to be taking over the comments at that time.
Yeah.
So we're going to be running it like really, really good as opposed to what's happening right now in that whole comment thing.
All right. Laura, hey, Brent, trying to comp a 3,500 square feet piece of land in SoCal, sold in 2019 for $850, commercially zoned, hot urban area, only 2 comps, $3.5 million and $400K. Any advice? Yes, Laura, here's the deal. If it is a piece of land that is commercially zoned, you need to have a commercial broker on your team. You need to have somebody that really knows the area. Well, here's the thing. Well, first of all, how much do they want, right? If they bought it for $850 in 2019 and it's a piece of land, these are savvy investors. The land has not gone down. So is this going to be a real deal, or are you wasting your time? Like, are they? Do you have a buy number out of them that makes sense? And do you have developers that can do something with that land? or is it just something that you kind of fell into your lap and now you're trying to pull all these pieces together? If that's the case, talk to a commercial broker. And if they decide that they want to reach out and get that deal or whatever else, at least it builds a good relationship with you, because most likely they're going to want retail for it. And I don't want you wasting your time with people that just want retail for a piece of land, unless you have a buyer that wants to pay more than that. But then you're kind of acting like a broker. So unless you're a broker, don't do that. If you can lock it up and you've got buyers for it, that's a whole different ballgame. But if not, kick it over to a commercial agent, let them deal with it. Because I see a lot of these deals take a lot of time, and it's a huge distraction. Huge. And if somebody put $850,000 down on that land, they're pretty savvy. JVC, Javier just closed a deal, 14K, got 2 closings next week. Rhinos Let's Squad Up in Atlanta. Mark, he's on fire, man.
Dude,
I'm telling you,
I've seen him
single
every
week.
show for the last 4 or 5 shows.
It's
JVC, you're crushing it.
It's amazing what happens when you're part of the TTP family. Yeah. Just saying. There we go.
Bam!
Congratulations. That's phenomenal. Well deserved. He's crushing. Frank, should I focus on building cash buyers first or go after the sellers? In this market, go after the sellers, Frank.
Yep.
I mean, it's not, you don't have to be a great salesman to sell cocaine. That's what properties are. You know what I mean? Right now, the lack of inventory is things go. There's so many people that need properties right now that it is. You don't like that one? You hate that one.
I like it. I thought, I like that.
I mean, you don't. I mean, it's just like you don't have to. You could make like 3 or 4 phone calls and have exposure to like unlimited buyers if you just call either an established wholesaler in your area, or you call or you reach out. I love this one. This is one I've talked about for a while. But anybody that has created a Facebook group of real estate investors, whoever the admins are on that, or the creators are of that group, send them a DM. I got a phenomenal deal. I'm new to real estate. I need some help. Do you want to take a look at this deal and see if you can work with me on it? You know what? You know, Frank? So it's been taught before, build your cash buyer database, build your cash buyer database. In this market with record lack of inventory, and I'm not just saying that for like, you know, hyperbole or just to pump this thing up. It is like the lowest. Do you know how many single family properties are available in Maricopa County that has 1.2 million houses? 1,700 active listings in Maricopa County.
Are we down to 1,700?
1,700, bro.
Single family. Wow.
1,700.
Man.
With 10,000 selling a month, that's the demand. Yeah. So it's absolutely bananas. There you go. TTPinsider.com. Too much pie. That's cool. When going virtual, what is the best way to get accurate estimate on repairs? Oh man, you've been itching for this one. You've been itching for this one. This is a very simple formula. It's not perfect. It's not all the analyticals out there that want to fight me on this. Go ahead. I get it, but it works. So proof's in the pudding. Use whatever you want to do, but this is what we use. This is what we teach. This is a really easy fix and flip repair cost. If I am on your phone right now, take a screenshot. And this, you know, we might need to adjust this year, honestly, Matt, just because construction costs are going up. Materials, labor is going up, so you could probably add 5,000 to 10,000 onto this. And I'm just listen. I'm not setting in concrete here on, you know, this grid. This just really helps with estimates. So if it adjusts, I'll adjust it. But I think probably 5 to 10 on top of this is going to need to be adjusted. So pull it up again. Add 10. Just be safe with it. Add 10 to this. Add $10,000 to all of these for what the costs are right now, and then just use it. So the under 1,500 is square footage. So I'm looking at this thing based on square footage. Okay? So that should help you out. You don't have to be perfect with it. Everybody has different costs. People that are doing the work themselves have different costs. People that are going to live in it have different costs. People that have big companies that need to keep their crews busy have different costs. So I make assumptions because you never really know. But what I really know is if it's a mom and pop and they're trying to hire like independent, they're trying to be their own general contractor and they get subs for all the different things, they're going to be the highest bid. They're going to come in and tell you, 1,500 square feet needs, 100,000 or whatever, when somebody can do it for 40. So use this, and we'll increase it for the remainder of the year at least by $10,000. It's up. But the nice thing is, by the time people buy these properties, fix them up and sell them, appreciation's kicked in.
You added a few percent to that ARV.
Yeah. And by the way, interest rates will affect that a little, but even with the interest rate adjustments, it's $100 more a month on average for a mortgage. $100 more a month. A lot of people can afford a lot. It's just people buy less house. They still are in the same price range. They still want to buy a house. It's just a different house. There you go, too much pie. How can I get my team comfortable with cold calling? It freaks them out. You gotta tie your goals to your actions. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a team that's freaked out by picking up the phone and calling people, they're in the wrong business. I mean, they're in the wrong business. That's the whole business. The whole business is talking to people. The whole bit. Now, listen, it's a lot easier to talk to warm leads, but it costs a lot more for people to call you. So if you have the budget to have people call you, go for it. If you have a network where you're just like the dude or the gal or whatever in your market and people want to send you deals all the time, fantastic. That's what I want for you. But let's be honest, in real life, when we're starting or we're building or we're growing, we need to be proactive. We need to be reaching out. So some of it's just, it freaks everybody out at first, and then it just starts warming up. So the first thing is gamify it. Get together. You're going to make 15 minutes of calls. We're going to listen to it. And then you're going to make 15 minutes of calls. We're going to listen to it. Then I'm going to make 15 minutes of calls and listen to it. We're going to see who gets the biggest leads. Whoever gets the best leads gets lunch bought for them, or gets a cocktail, or gets a, I don't know, whatever, some sort of reward. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to reward somebody, but just make it fun, make it gamified. It doesn't have to be sitting in your house in a dark room making calls and people like just yelling at you all day. Stand up, smile, have light on. We literally did go back to 2-3 weeks ago to being more confident on the phone and watch that, because that's the breakdown. That'll really help you out. And then if it still freaks them out, find people that'll do it. Find people that are hungry enough to get over the fear.
Here's one thing to consider too. If you have a team that gets freaked out whenever they're making cold calls, we can come in and pay for PPC if the budget is there and have people call us. But when you have the opportunity to negotiate and you get face to face with somebody, and you're still freaking out about the cold calling, guess what's going to happen when you start negotiating a property? Your team's going to freak out about negotiating the property, and then those marketing dollars are going to go out the window. Yeah. So it's important just to have it, as a discipline, like you say, just bring it in and then, hone down, align it to self-interest within your team, and then gamify it. I mean, I think it's a beautiful strategy.
Awesome. Raul, how do you get over analysis paralysis? Well, there's a lot that goes on in there. One, it's all mindset. So the thing that you're using analysis to prevent you from taking action, from doing the uncomfortable things that actually get you paid. So what's your why, bro? Go through that 7. Go through the 7 steps. Usually comes down to I want to have a better, more free, more control over my life, and teach that to my kids so that they can really understand what fulfillment is, what joy is. Well, how do you know that? Unless you do it. Unless you're showing them the path. Unless you're doing the things that take courage and bravery and all the other words you want to throw at it. It's by starting. Ugly houses.
Big.
Phone numbers for those ugly houses. Press call. Talk to them. Talk to them. Talk to them. Repeat, 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 repeat 200 times, and you got a deal. And then you no longer have to live off of faith. You can live off of fact. And now you know it works. You see it here, but in your own mind, in your own world, now you know it works. And then you just do it over and over and over again. Can you put up that quote again, Matt? I love it. 90% of success can be boiled down to consistently doing the obvious thing for an uncommonly long period of time without convincing yourself you are smarter than you are. Analysis paralysis. It's one of the 3 P's that destroy you, right? Paralysis by analysis, procrastination, and perfectionism. Those, you got to watch it. Those will creep in. Those will stop you from going out there and providing value. Remember, when we're starting out, we have to provide the value to get the income. Then the income goes to our assets, and then our assets build wealth, and then the wealth starts providing the value to the marketplace, whatever it is, whether it be housing, whether it be a stock, whether it be crypto, whatever it is that is providing value to the marketplace and growing your net worth. It makes more money, and then that money starts covering your efforts, and then you have complete control over your schedule. Then you decide what you want to do with your schedule. But until that time, unless you're independently wealthy or inherited a lot of money and you can just live this life and do it, hit the lottery or something, we got to do it ourselves. And it is more fulfilling that way, I feel. It's more fulfilling to go out there and understand that what you did out of the air came income. That's crazy. That's wild to me. It still is.
A lot of times the analysis of paralysis comes in because of a fear of rejection, right? We don't want to get rejected by the sellers.
Of course.
We don't want to get a no, but you already have the no. Like, we're starting off on the no's. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to sell the property to us right out of the gate. We got to dig in and find that person, right? So that I guess that sense of rejection is one thing that can really come in the middle of you and picking up that phone. We're going to tell ourselves stories as to, I got to have it all laid out. I got to have the perfect conversation. I want to try it and even, rehearse it in the mirror 52 times or, whatever, right? But at the end of the day, it can be that sense of fear of just getting rejected and getting that no.
Yep.
But we already have the no.
Yep.
So the only way to go is up.
Yep.
I mean, it's getting in there. And then as you start doing it, you build that muscle.
Yeah.
That thickness of skin comes with the phone calls. So, yeah.
Well, and again, right off the bat, old Mike Ferry, right? Talked about attitude, approach, and expectation. Oh, jeez. Hold on.
One job, Brent.
Yeah.
One job.
Well, the thing dipped on me. I don't know what it's doing. Right here.
Yep. Love it.
Well, the approach, if you're having analysis by paralysis or paralysis by analysis, well, then what's your approach? How are you going to build your skills? I mean, maybe you're better as somebody's business partner. Maybe somebody is going to go out there and be more proactive, and you're going to be more of the person that organizes everything and makes sure that you're not wasting money and you're buying assets and building a huge thing as a company. That's cool. But if you're going to go out there and do it yourself and really attract the right people, really attract the right partners, really attract the right team, I mean, you got to get out of it. You got to do something. You got to be proactive. All right? What factors should I consider when making a decision about a real estate investor or real estate coach / mentor? Well, Goreen, there is a big difference between a coach and a mentor. Coaches get you results faster and bigger. Mentors are people you want to be like. Do you want a coach or do you want a mentor? Just depends. I mean, some people just are going to go and do what they want to do and just want to be around people that are really successful and pick their brain here and there. But a coach has a specific action plan. Specific ways to increase your skills and get you to where you want to go faster. The mentor is somebody that you're following in their footsteps. So it just depends on what you want. And then it's a gut decision. It's a gut decision. Who are you vibing with? What energy do you like? What feels good in your gut? Go with that. There shouldn't be, if somebody is trying to sell you on being their coach or mentor, that's the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's either that it feels good or it doesn't. There should be no convincing. You know what I mean? It should just, boom. That's who I want to be around. That's how it's in my experience. Hey, I know you have probably answered this question before, but what metrics should a new wholesaler look at? Perfect. This is what I want you to look at. Here. All right, new wholesaler. Here we go. Love it. Number one, what's your goal? Okay? What's your income goal? Number two, 15,000, and my goal here is how much money do you want to make? Divide that by 15,000, you come up with how many deals you need to do. Deals in 12 months, okay? Because we're going to break this down. And then you go, okay, well, you have to talk to 200 people if you're reaching out to them cold. Now, this is not the same if it's marketing, but if you're just getting going and you're going out there, you're being proactive, you have to have 200 contacts per deal. And that's what I'm looking at. So to get those 200 contacts, how much time does it take? So how much time are you prospecting? Okay, time, contacts, leads, deals. Keep it simple. That's it. That's it. I mean, you can go, you can get way more elaborate, but when you are starting out, the simpler the better. I want you out there not overthinking, but just looking at these things. Okay, how much time am I going to put into this business? How many contacts do I need to speak to? How many leads do I need to get the amount of deals? That's it. So remember, 200 per deal, cold. Now, if you hire somebody to make these calls for you, it's 800 per deal, contacts, okay? And then leads here, this is something to watch. Because if you're getting a bunch of leads but you're not closing them, then you're not either pre-qualifying them or doing your lead follow-up right, or your offer presentation's off. Okay? All stuff broken down, TTP Insider. Check it out. It's all in the toolbox. Leads there. And then from those leads, how many deals do you get? Keep it simple. Right here. And then look at your goals. What's your goal? Because you need to know this. You need to know this because then divide it by this, then it shows you how many deals you have. And then if you know how many deals you need to get to hit your goal and how much time it takes, do you have enough time in your schedule to do it to hit the goal that you want? Because this is when reality hits. I want to make $1 million by myself this year. Great. What's 1 million divided by 15? And then times that by 200 conversations. How much time does that take? Well, usually the time factor is it's about 20 hours per deal. If you're contacting 10 people, 20 hours per deal. and you should be talking to about 10 an hour. That's why it's really important that the dialer works. You got to use a dialer for this. It's really tough to do it hand dialing. 20 hours per deal with you making the calls with a dialer, talking to 10 people an hour, divided by your goals. See how this all work together? Now you know, okay, well, if I want to make $1 million, I'm going to need a lot more people. Or I'm going to have to do it like 100 hours a week or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's how you break it down.
Awesome. India. A big thing for me is grasping the concept of what would make someone take so much less than their house is worth. I understand that the house needs work, but they could clearly get more. No, they can't. They can't. India. Here's the real important thing that everybody needs to understand. The market doesn't determine value. Realtors don't determine value. Sellers don't determine value. The government doesn't determine value. The only thing that determines value on anything is a ready, willing, and able buyer. So, what do you think it's worth? What do you think it's worth? I think it's worth $50,000. I think that I could sell it to somebody else that thinks it's worth $75,000 to $80,000. But it's what they think it's worth. But what does the seller want? See, here's the thing. We hallucinate and assume that we think that everybody wants the most that they can get for their property. Maybe, mostly. But remember, people will trade equity or potential equity for speed and convenience. You need to think of this as a pawn shop. You go into a pawn shop with a drum set. They're not paying you retail value for it. It's a used drum set. They aren't even going to pay you what they think that a used drum set will sell for. They're going to pay for whatever they think that they can buy it from you and sell at a profit. That's a lot of things in the world. So it's speed and convenience. Do they want a cash as is offer with no issues? They come to us. If they want to put it on the market and go through inspections and go through the usual process, then listen with a realtor. Remember, India, we don't convince anybody of anything. We don't hold back information on anything. Everything's out there. We don't pretend that the comps aren't what the comps are. We say this is what we think it's worth to us. For me to do business with you, I need to make $25,000. How is that any different than an attorney saying I charge $1,000 an hour, $2,000 an hour, $5,000 an hour? How's there any difference? It just depends on what they want. And most of the times, people will tell you, I want this price. I can't tell you how. I'll give you an example. This is a great one. We went in and we cold called, and a gentleman it was a rental property. It was a vacant rental property in North Phoenix here, and he wanted to sell it. He just wanted to get rid of it. The tenants were moved out, didn't want to mess with it, didn't want to fix it up. And we came over, we're talking to him about price. And he says, you know what, give us what I paid for it like 20 years ago, and I'll sell it to you. And we're like, well, why would you sell it to us at 20 years? Obviously, there's been appreciation or whatever. He goes, I don't care about the money. I want you guys to make a bunch of money. We're like, why? He goes, that's just what I want. So what do you tell them? You know what I mean? So the buyer determines the value. If what we're willing to pay aligns with what the seller wants, then great. We move forward. But listen, happens 1,000 times a day, 2,000 times a day, 3,000. I mean, Pace Morby said it happens 147,000 times a month. Not everybody. Listen, we're talking about the 6 to 10% of people that are in distress about this property. They want to trade potential equity for speed and convenience. And they could sell it for whatever they want.
One thing to understand too from the seller's side is that the keyword there is distress, right?
Yep.
I used to do the same thing. I used to walk into properties right at the beginning and then see it through my glasses. My glasses were financial glasses.
Right.
My glasses told me that no, people want the highest amount of money for their property,
Yep.
and that's the only problem I can solve.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a wholesaler, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
But it's not, right? There's different types of distress. You have financial distress, you have circumstantial distress, you have people who are relocating, they're getting transferred, the accidental landlord. There's so many things in there that fall into it. People just don't want to deal with the headache. At the end of the day, there's a headache somehow, some way. And yeah, they might be able to get more if they put it up on the MLS and fix it and go through the whole process, but they just don't want that kind of stuff. It's distress, right? If you find the distress, it's going to give you that logical approach or that context that you need to process that through your negotiation, India. And but at the end of the day, like it's a very small amount of people that we talk to on a regular basis that will actually sell the property to us, and distress is the key word. That's how it works from the seller side, and then the price is dictated by the buyer on the buyer side. So,
Have you ever traded in a car?
yeah.
You've traded in, right?
Yeah.
And you know that they're giving you less than what it's worth,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Why would you trade it in?
Because I want that nicer car that I'm driving out of the car lot with. So
Right, but
it's just
why
something else,
why not just go sell it yourself?
Yeah.
Why not? No, honestly, why not go put an ad out and wash the car, clean it out?
Time and convenience.
Why not fix it all up? Why not take it to the shop? Why not get it all jazzed up? Why not put some new rims on it? Put a new sound system, get it all looking good, right? Get a new paint job on it. Do all these things. Why not do all that to get top dollar? Why?
Time and convenience.
That's it.
Time and convenience.
That's it. People are trading in. That's it.
Take the
They
financial.
don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Listen, India, I love this question, but literally, we have gone, and we will do this if people are having conversations about what they want to do. We say, you can, on the market, if you clean this up, or even as is, you could put it on the market with a realtor and you can get $280,000. We will give you $220,000 as is, cash, done. What do you want to do? $220 cash as is. Doesn't make sense. Makes sense if you understand and put on from the lens of speed and convenience. Well, I don't want people coming through my house. I don't want a sign in my yard. I don't want it to be on Zillow and the internet and people Googling and seeing my house. I don't want my pets disturbed. My tenant won't show this property at all. They won't help me out. They won't even pay the bills here. I've got a son that's been living there forever. Will you help me with this? It's been vacant. It's been broken into. I am so sick and tired of this. It is destroying my insurance credit rating and making the rates go way up. The utilities, people keep tapping into the utilities. I mean, there's a million different reasons why people want to get rid of these properties for speed and convenience. I need the money now. I need to move here quickly. I don't want to deal with any of these headaches. All right. We'll help you out. Awesome. Hope that helped. Michael, Mindset, the young buck I interviewed to cold call, wanted to know the value for him. Value said, is you applying consistently all the tools you'll learn. By the way, Billy Bell says hi. Nice. Billy Bell. Billy Bell's in town tomorrow. That's great. Billy Bell was my disposition manager for a while, acquisition manager and disposition manager for a while. Not at the same time, but...
It's like a character name,
yeah,
Billy Bell, and
Billy
he is
Bell.
a character.
And
I like
that's
Billy.
his real name.
Yeah.
His dad's name, Billy Bell, too. That's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, if somebody's asking what is in the value for him, don't hire that person.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Raph. Am I being cold?
No, I think you're being
Am I
right,
being
especially
feisty?
about a cold calling role. The value is that you get an opportunity to learn the ins and outs of the business. One thing that we always say, right, when somebody wants to learn something, go work for somebody else. If you're that entitled coming into it, I mean, if there's a lot of value for them to be getting out of the cold calling session, they should be running their own business.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of attrition there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think given the role, I think that's
It is a fundamental skill that when you talk to 1,000 strangers about real estate, it blends into all parts of your life. Blends into all parts. All of a sudden, you're more smooth, you're more comfortable, you're more confident. You don't care as much about rejection or people being, you understand that you're not the cause of people's negativity. It's their life. It's what's going on there. You have more perspective. You have more reps. It makes you stronger as a business professional, for sure. If you look at anybody, and I've been listening to this motivational, the greatest motivational speeches of all time on Audible, because somebody gifted me like 15 Audible tokens or something. So I'm like, okay. And I'm just buying a bunch of stuff. And you look at all of these people. I don't care if they're actors, Bill Gates, real famous military leaders, inspirational speakers. All of them have cold called somebody. All of them have picked up the phone and started a relationship out of the blue.
Yeah.
All of them. All of them. I would love to do a whole documentary on it. Like how did you get that relationship? How did you get that? And it all comes down. If you look, and however you feel about Donald Trump, but if you read his real estate book, what is that book? What's the name of it?
Something of the deal.
Art of the Deal.
Art of the Deal, yeah.
Art of the Deal. He made 50 cold calls a day to build his business. His dad gave him $1 million. Okay, great. He still made 50 cold calls a day. That's all he did. It was a gold phone at the top of some tower. But he was calling people all day long. Real successful people are talking to people all day long. All day long. Telling you. They're making those conversations. What do we got? Aaron, I'm a trash truck driver, and technically I drive for dollars during my shift. Still working on my first deal. I'm at work now, by the way. Yes, Aaron. Yes. I love it. I can't tell you, it's really interesting how many people in my world that have come into coaching or participated in our live shows or are, send DMs, are driving, whether it's truck driving or sanitation or the DoorDash or Uber or whatever it is, and they're looking around, they're like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden like the eyes are open and they see all the opportunities in the marketplace, because literally until there's a day where everything is pristine on the streets and everything's perfect and everybody's taking care of their house, there's always going to be opportunity. It's always going to be opportunity. It's incredible. With Trillionaire Diddy. Brent, I am a new South African 22-year-old real estate wholesaler, and I wholesale American real estate virtually from South Africa. Are you kidding me? Please tell how taxes work in my situation or wholesaling. No idea. What I will tell you is it's probably going to be just regular income. And so you're going to have to file. So I would just I would Google South African CPA, Certified Public Accountant, and reach out to them and find out what that looks like. Because that's I have no idea. I'm not a CPA, obviously. I can barely spell or add. But, yeah.
You spelled CPA well.
Yeah, I spelled that one right.
Right on it, yeah.
I could do initials.
That was like perfect.
Yeah. That's why this is simple. No, but yeah, that is phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. Wow. From South Africa. From South Africa, during virtual wholesaling, there's people that live in Phoenix and they're like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People living in Dallas, I can't do it. It's too saturated.
Yeah.
And then, my students in Israel are crushing. They don't have that excuse. South Africa, that's phenomenal. That's incredible. Congratulations. Thank you for being on here. I am honored to be in your world. I'm honored to be in everybody's world, to be honest. This is just, this is incredible. that there's so many people that have such a brain for being an entrepreneur, for finding discounted property, for being proactive. Like, I'm the luckiest dude ever. Ever. Thank you for participating. Too much pie. Are you doing more, less, or about the same amount of wholesale deals after the pandemic? I've heard it's harder to get deals in this market, but spreads. Yeah, that's it. Same amount, honestly. It's been the same amount, just way bigger. We went from like $22,000 a deal to $28,000 a deal to $32,000 a deal to now over $40,000 a deal on these. And, you know, some of that's, we sell the properties. You know, hedge funds are really robust here in Arizona. And so we're going after some different properties. You know, if you're in a major market, you need to connect with a hedge fund. Don't make it your whole business philosophy, because they're fickle. They're here one day, gone the next, no warning, gone, turn it off, whatever. But while they're running, you can go after their buy box. You can actually get what their buy box is. Go after those properties that maybe they're not as destroyed. Maybe you can even get close to retail, and they'll pay over retail for it. That's, again, goes back to who sets the value of the properties. The buyer. The buyer. Every single time. And I will close on every property that we put under contract. That's our philosophy. We're not canceling things. We're not going after things that are kind of maybe a deal. We're going after good, solid deals that we feel comfortable closing on all the time. And it's a good philosophy, because we don't like canceling deals. And usually if we get them canceled, it's not our end. It's the seller going through something. Armando, Brent, I found a lead. Owner passed away, and it hasn't gone through probate. How can I reach out to his wife and kids since I can't find their info? There's a couple different things. How do you know that they don't have a will? So if they already have a will set up, or trust set up, or something set up to pass that on, it'll be inherited by somebody. So not all, most houses don't go through probate because they have it set up to transfer to the family. So I would find out if it's going to be transferred to the family. You could do a couple different things. AmericanTracers.com can help you find some of the family members. I think BeenVerified.com can help you find them. And then if you really want to go nitty gritty, go into Fiverr or Upwork, find somebody that has a TLO account and get all of the information on the relatives, and then skip trace them, and then reach out to them and see who is responsible. If it is a probate, then it'll be public data, and you can either go down and get that from the county recorder's office, or you can just do it through like Probates Daily, probatesdaily.com. Make sure you use that TTP discount code, because they hook you up. But probatesdaily.com, and then that'll give you all the info for all the probates in your area.
Brent, Spokio.com also gives you next of kin.
Oh, Spokio.com.
Yeah,
there you
Spokio.com.
go. That too. So a lot of options there, Armando. You'll find it with one of them. Matt Perry, how do you get the executor of a probate case of a vacant house to accept an offer during the probate case? Relationship. That's it. Do they want to work with you, Matt? One, you have to have a conversation. Two, you need to pre-qualify. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. Remember the 4 pillars. Condition of the property, timeline to sell, motivation to sell that property, and price. Okay? And then it's just stay in front of them. What are their goals? What are your goals with this property? Great question. What's your goal with this property? I want to sell it. Okay, great. Did you have a price in mind? Do you know when you want to sell it? You know, figure those things out. And then, as long as, listen, the issue, Matt, that you'll run into is if it's a sticky probate for some reason, like family members are fighting and they're getting attorneys involved, and it's not as smooth as possible and it takes longer. If you get it locked up now, the likelihood of them canceling before the end of it is high. Time kills all deals. So I like, when is this thing going to be done? When is it going to be done? Let's talk about price as we get closer. Let's take a look at the current market. Let's take a look at what we can offer at this. Let's take a look at what construction costs are going on and labor costs, and all these other things are going to change on a daily basis. So why don't we wait until, we're closer to when you get that probate through. And if you get any offers in the meantime, let me know. And if you build enough of a relationship with them, then they'll let you know. But if you put it under contract and it takes a really long time, there's a lot of things that could happen between the time you lock it up and the time you can actually close on it. Because until the new person is the owner, it doesn't matter who you get a contract signed with. It doesn't matter. You can't close it until somebody can sign for it at title. Good question. Malo. Our first pre-foreclosure deal we closed this month brought a $141,000 assignment fee. Took only 26 hours. People, take massive action. This business works. NW Invest LLC. Congratulations.
Wow.
$141,000. Let's go. Come on.
Boom.
That is absolutely incredible. Congratulations on that. Remember, put it through the perspective of your net worth. What's that net worth number, and what percentage are you going to keep to add to that and grow that? Okay? Just don't take that. Just listen. There's going to be a phase. I get it. You're going to make some money. You're going to buy something cool and fancy, and you're going to go on trips, and you're going to, post it, and you're going to show everybody the steaks that you're eating and the bottles of champagne. And I'm not saying you, but this is just what I see, like, on Instagram or Facebook or whatever else. And it's this celebration. You're showing everybody how good you are and your new kicks and your new watch and the new things and all that. You go through that phase. Just don't let that phase last long. I get it. It's cool. I get it. But what's even cooler is your family and the people that you influence coming up too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. You do that through net worth, because that stuff, you become somebody else's ROI when you spend money. You get that, right? When you go to that restaurant, when you go on those trips, when you do these things, you're somebody else's ROI. And that's fine. That's part of lifestyle. That's how much better do you want your lifestyle? That's great. I want that. But make sure that you're taking care of the real important things, because nobody that I've ever seen do that 7 layers why thing, at the end of it's like, because I like fancy stuff and silk sheets and, buying, saber-toothed tiger skins or something. I don't know. Whatever. Something fancy. So fantastic. It's a great check. Don't go over your skis. Have fun, celebrate, do something, and then keep that money. Keep that money and put it to your net worth. Two-part question coming up. Part 1, AO Chronicles. I have a distressed seller looking to sell his property in Georgia, but he lives in Maryland. Backed out of an agreement with another buyer, wholesaler. Found out he wants to do short sale. I connected with the short sale queen. Then their team said it won't be a traditional wholesale transaction. It'll have to be a double close. Who can I connect with to help me double close? Well, a double close just means that you're going to be closing on it, and then you're going to be selling it at the same time. So listen, you can't wholesale short sales. You can't. Let me make this real clear. Like people were doing it in the downturn. I personally know people that were doing it, and it was fine until they changed up the way that these were done, and they literally restricted them because people were short selling to the bank for like $300,000 less than what was owed, and then making like $150,000 selling it to somebody with cash. And the banks don't like that, obviously, because they're taking huge hits. Well, who backs the banks? The government. So the government steps in, stops short sales from being wholesaled, because the way short sales are, this is the current value of this property, and it's less than what's going on here. It's less than what's owed, so we need to get a reduction on what's owed, the debt on it, to what it's really worth. Well, if what it's really worth is worth more, the bank is taking a hit that they shouldn't have to take in the open market. So it was real interesting. So who can help you double close? A title company. That's the answer, AO. Title company. So you have your contract, you got to close on it with funds. Find transactional funding, find somebody that has the money, find somebody that has 20% and you can get a hard money loan for the rest and close on it, and then have somebody else come in and buy it from you. Just make sure that there aren't any limitations to how long you have to own that property before you can resell it, because they will put conditions in there. And if one of the conditions is that you have to own it a minimum of 90 days before you can sell it, sometimes back in the day it was a year. A year. So just make sure when you get that payoff statement that you get from the bank on a short sale, if it has something about the length of time that you have to own it. So stick with the short sale queen. She'll make sure that you understand all of that. They'll get it pushed through. They're phenomenal. But just make sure there's no restrictions in the payoff statement. Jeremy, just put something under contract and it's overpriced. Can you help? Yeah. Get it at the right price. I need more on the can you help. So if it's overpriced, then you have to go back to the seller and say, this is the price that I can do it at. And here's what I'd say, Jeremy. Find out what price is the right price. Talk to your cash buyers, talk to everybody, talk to the investors. What's the right price? And then work backwards from there. Because if you go and try to get a price reduction because you did your numbers wrong on the front end from a seller and you still can't close it, it gets real nasty. Right? Get the price that is guaranteed. Go back and talk to the seller and say, listen, I did the numbers wrong. This is the price that I need. If it doesn't work, then move on. Cancel it. And move on and let them sell it to somebody else.
A lot of times we and I did this at the beginning, man. It's so many trial and errors. But offering more because I wanted the conversation to go the nice way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Telling the seller what they wanted to hear as opposed to what I had to.
Or beating out other offers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's all fine and dandy when you get that signature, you get that little, dopamine high and whatnot. But when you come to sell it and you figure out that coming back to it is going to be a lot harder of a conversation to have. So just, come into it if the right way, right? It's better to have that difficult conversation at the front end than come back and then renegotiate afterwards.
For sure. Guys, we got 6 minutes left of all 100 before she has to go out and have cocktails on the, 16th green at Phoenix Open? Where are you going? Greenskeeper. Greenskeeper. How many drink tickets do you have? Oh, jeez. Don't be a meme. All right, that's the goal. Don't be a meme. All right, John says. So I've compiled 3 lists.
It's too much.
All skip trace in total 14,000, and it's put into batch dialer and is in SoCal. It's about 8 to 10 months old since I skip traced the numbers. Would you? Yes, John. Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, most people don't change their numbers within a year. I mean, there's going to be some, but you can go for it. Yeah, go for it, for sure. Michael, Brent, on Wholesale Hotline, you said you weren't that smart, but I just want to let you know that I think you're very smart and I can feel your hero vibes all around. Super grateful for what you do. Thank you. Thank you. I got 1110 on my SAT, so I feel pretty smart. That's right. Yeah. Michael, I appreciate it. Listen, I am not the book, not the institutional. I'm more the reading, listening, and conversating and talking to people type. You know what I mean? So I just know what works in this business. I really do. And I think that we try to over-educate and think ourselves out of what really works in here. And I think a lot of times a mistake that we make is we think that we're better leaders than we are. initially. We get big checks, and then we want to delegate everything because we feel like we've earned the right to work on our business and not in our business. And I think that if you work in your business for the first 7 years minimum, I don't know anybody that isn't a millionaire. For real. For real. It's the people that want to get out of it in, 2 months or 2 years or, a year or whatever else, and not working in the business that seem to start and stop and start and stop and start and stop and start and stops. So you got to get in it. You got to build it. Not only that, but when you do start bringing on people, you need to be you need to understand you work for them. You know what I mean? They don't work for you. You work for them. So there you go. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Marcus, implementing Philip Vincent's idea and have become a resource for my state agency in 4 local senior communities. Brent, you and your team are awesome for that interview. Wow, Marcus. I'm telling you, people are sleeping on that one. People are really sleeping. People are really sleeping. I love that you posted that. First of all, I'm gonna ring the bell for you, Marcus, because you actually are watching what's happening and
That's
implementing.
a win, yeah.
I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal, guys. There's the best podcast, in my opinion, in real estate of all time are on this channel, and it's not about me, being interviewed or me doing this, talking most of the time. It's about the incredible people around this country that are doing incredible things with incredible energy and enthusiasm, with that go-giver attitude to share everything with people of the audience. It's bananas. If you guys aren't watching these interviews on a daily, weekly basis, it's something you need to implement for sure. Something you need to put in to your schedule, because it's real life. I mean, the interesting thing that you need to understand is, to be on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, we vet them. They have to send in settlement statements, right? Like, this isn't fake. This isn't like, oh, some dude just made up that he did this and that and building this and that. It can't happen. So it's like, it's just so inspirational. It's so incredible. Jose, hi, Brent. My VA contact ratio is about 7%. I think that is currently normal. However, it has a lot downtime. Are you expecting this? I use Batch. Yeah, Jose. Batch needs to figure it out. Something's going on. They're working on it, but 7% is great. If you're at 7%, that is right in the sweet spot, brother. That's awesome. Cold call Christian. There he is. About to lock up my first seller finance deal and seller finance it back to an end buyer. Looking to get another 2 contracts this month, only using Deal Machine and Batch Dialer. I'm telling you guys, Christian, you're phenomenal. Christian's been in my life for a few years now, and has just blew it all up, and is doing amazing things. So, 1, congratulations. Let's ring that victory bell. Here we go. TTP family member right there, Christian. Also, listen, if people are wondering, Deal Machine's a driving for dollars app. So you literally you have your phone, you're driving around town, you see an ugly property, it pulls up on the app and you click it, and then it's in your database, and then you can reach out to them. So it's not it's a really, really, really simple business. It's not easy, but it's a simple business. Ugly houses, big checks. Focus. What you focus on expands. If you focus on ugly houses and big checks, right, Handra? Ugly houses, big checks, you win. You win. Do you prefer Airbnbs or long-term tenants? Thanks, man. I don't prefer either, Aaron, and I know that's kind of controversial. I don't own a lot of rentals. I don't want to do Airbnbs. We tried it. My wife hated it. I didn't want to bring on some staff member to build that up. I'm probably leaning towards just huge bank account, put it into something that's a syndication or something that's a gonna buy something, do something special, so that my tax liability is low because of the cost segregation and depreciation, and lending a lot of money, and yeah, the assets that I'm going to be buying are going to be probably part of a bigger pool and do bigger projects that I don't have to do the day-to-day stuff with. I think that there's huge benefit to buying I mean, my properties have gone bananas, the ones that I do own here in Phoenix. And obviously, if I own more, it would. But it's a whole nother business. And I'm focused on coaching. I'm focused on wholesale and flipping. So I drink my own Kool-Aid, so to speak. It's a focus thing. So just remember, if it's Airbnbs or long-term tenants, that's a whole nother business. And if you're not coaching, if you're not doing other things, if you can keep that in line and it's a lifestyle that you want and you want to build that cash flow, go for it. I support that 100%. I just don't want to. I don't want to be in my cabin at Saturday morning and have to call 4 plumbers to try to fix something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's me. But I'd rather put the money into a pool that's going to do amazing things, developments or big time holds that'll grow by 10 to 20% a year and get cash flow. Boom. Matthew, when wholesaling virtually, how do you have potential buyers walk through the property and communicate it well to the seller? Where you don't lose the deal? Get a real estate agent on your team in that market, Matthew. So here's the deal. Real estate agent. Hey, listen, all my company does is reach out to property owners all day to see if they want to sell their house. Now, most of the time, they want to sell, but they want retail value. I don't want that's not my business model. So when I run across these deals, can I refer them to you and you get those business? Now, if you have your license, Matthew, you can get a referral fee. If you don't, then it's just a deposit into the bank account of your relationship with that agent. Have fun. Be safe. All right.
Don't be a meme.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're building that relationship with that agent, and then when and then when it comes to showing properties or going out on appointments to get something signed, that agent can go and do that. That agent can open up the doors. That agent can be available for you because you're giving them business. So it's a wonderful coexistence. It's a wonderful win-win relationship with them. But I highly suggest that. Or anybody that's boots on the ground. I mean, they don't have to be a real estate agent, but the issue is if they're talking about real estate in that market, I think it's better for you to just get a real estate agent. And it's a lot easier to build that relationship. You don't have to pay them. If you get somebody that's not a real estate agent, you probably have to pay out of pocket. But if they're a real estate agent, they can just go. They can just go, and they're getting paid based on you being their rainmaker for leads. Sasha, there she is. Hey all. Okay, so I'm working a deal and I'm trying to figure out what I can fish it to my buyers for. Do you recommend I simply ask them what they would pay for it? No. No. If you have a deal, lock up that deal and then tell them what you want for it. I mean, you can't, if you want to get like a buy price, Sasha, I understand. If you're like not 100% confident to know what price you want to go into, sure. That's fine. That's fine. You know, just make sure that you're talking to somebody that you super, super trust. Because you don't want them going themselves to it and locking it up. So somebody you really trust, hey, what would you buy this at? $157. Okay, great. Now you know and you feel confident. It's called reverse wholesaling, essentially. How many leads a month can you pull with batch? Well, it depends on your on which subscription you have. I mean, you can pull as many as you want, or you can. I think the minimum is what, 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month. Well, you look that up, Aaron.
I think it's 10K.
10,000.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll by the end of the show we'll have it. We'll have it in a couple of minutes. The tiers. Just go grab somebody from Batch. Just go grab somebody from Batch Leads.
Well, that happens.
Pujad, would calling probate attorneys for each case I got the records from probate court and asking them if their clients would be interested in selling the property a good idea? Yeah, but they've got a lot of gatekeepers. So let me explain, what I found out, because I didn't know. A lot of these attorneys have call centers that filter the calls. So it's not like they're reception, and then it goes to their receptionist, and then it goes to them. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through there. I would rather you bring leads to a probate attorney of people that you have called that are going through probate or whatever else that don't have an attorney, and then them sending those opportunities to you, as opposed to, hey, do you have somebody that wants to buy? Do you have do you have a client that wants to sell their property? I want to buy it. You can try it, but you're going to jump through a lot more hoops. But test it. This is a business of testing. So listen, it's proactive. I love the idea. It's proactive. I'm just saying you have to, there's people that are kind of orbiting satellites of that attorney that keep people from speaking directly to the attorney.
Here's the thing, or one of the things I would say, Brent, and that's to set up your backbone process. Set up the process that you're not switching from, you're not changing, you're sticking to it, you're having that consistency in, right? If you have, a goal of dialing 500 people a day, stick to that.
Yep.
And then bolt on additional
Yes.
things, right? Additional
Yes.
strategies. But
Love
keep that one going as your evergreen machine. That's what's going to give you that consistency.
Love it.
You got the number.
50K
50,000 what?
leads a month.
For their base?
No, the base is only 2,000.
Base is 2,000.
The highest.
Highest one is 50,000.
Yep.
Got it. There you go. For batch leads to pull addresses. And
Boom.
their base one is what, $49?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's like the lead stacker, no data
Yeah.
on the property.
But you can test it. You can
Yeah.
get 5,000 free leads. Use TTP code. Do you have that up, Matt? Batchleads.io, TTP as the coupon code. Or just go to that site. Too Much Pie asks, where do you find hedge fund buyers?
Too much pie is on a roll.
Yeah, a couple different ways. One is you can pull up the people that have, so in PropStream, ttpdata.com or Batch Leads, depending on where you're at. I like PropStream for non-disclosure states, for disclosure states, non-disclosure states, Batch Leads. Either one. You can filter out and find the owners that are buying multiple properties within the year. And then you go and you look at those and you find you got to do a little bit of investigating and see who the buyer's agent was on these properties. So then you get the buyer's agent info and then you call them up. There's always going to be a buyer's agent that they're running these things through. Not always, but typically that they run these things through, and then reach out to them and then see what they're buying. Or squat up with somebody that's working. All of the hedge fund buyers we have are just because people are amazing in our world, and they're like, "Oh, Brent, I found this hedge fund buyer. You gotta add him to your list." Isn't that cool?
We're working with some stuff with Jeremy right now.
Yeah.
On Cali stuff with buyers that you guys have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. We also got a bunch of those buyers through Investor Lift. So we bought their big boy cartel thing, and that has a bunch of them throughout the country. We haven't vetted them, so if you need help with dispoing your deals, though, Jeremy at Offer Arizona. Jeremy at Offer Arizona. We've got 3 million cash buyers and adding, and access to the hedge funds. So what you want to do? Jeremy at offerarizona.com.
Oh, he's gonna love that one.
Yeah.
He's been loving it.
Well, don't send him junk. I mean, he will literally tell you this is junk. And that's most of what gets sent to him is like, this is not a deal. This is not a deal. This is not. Make sure it's a deal. And we're gonna put we'll have a thing set up, like a type form or some sort of page that people can put their stuff into.
We got
if they
together
need
about
help
that last week.
dispoing, but just make sure it's a deal. Like, don't bring him in. Don't be like, can you comp this? He's not gonna do it. He doesn't have time to do it. Scotty, can I find ugly houses here in Birmingham, Alabama? I can find ugly houses here in Birmingham, Alabama, but can't find buyers for them. Any suggestions? Jeremy at offerarizona.com. No, honestly,
circle.
I would, there are spots in Birmingham that are really, really, really tough to sell. They're just, the fix-up cost for those properties is so much that it eats up the value. Even if they're fixed up, it just doesn't make sense. So you got to really pick and choose which areas buyers are in there, Scotty. Because, yeah, you can find ugly houses in Birmingham, but will people buy them? Depends on how much repairs and what the total ARV is going to be on them. And if the ARV is 70,000, but it needs 55,000 in repairs, they could give you the property. Still, you're not going to make money on it.
This is a response to one of the questions of whether or not you should call an old list.
Yeah.
Like an 8-month-old.
Hell yeah, call them. I
William.
add older list of call tools every other month. I grabbed 2 deals from my old list in 2021. Well, first of all, William, thank you for commenting. Second of all, here comes your bell. Let's
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Come on. Why do you guys cover your ears? Am I deaf?
How you just can't hear it anymore.
It just sounds like a beautiful woman whistling.
You should be getting
know?
like hazardous pay or something.
That's it.
Every time.
Well, your audio guy here, you want me to be able to hear.
Yeah. Let's not blow your eardrums out.
Yeah.
Congratulations, William, and thank you.
Good stuff. Will.
There you go. Proof in the pudding right there. Gabriel, my VA has made over 5,000 calls and has only generated 5 leads. How can I help them improve? Well, I don't care how many calls they make. How many contacts do they have? That's the question. You should be getting 1 lead per 15 to 20 contacts. So let's say they made 5,000 calls. That means they talked to 500, no, not even. Let's call it contact rate 7%. So that's 350 people. I'm crushing math. You know what? I started taking that Joe Rogan brain
the pills, the
brain
smart
stuff.
pills?
I think that's what it
Yeah.
is. I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
What's that thing called? It's like
I forget what it is.
whatever. Anyway,
Hashtag non-CPA.
yeah. Hashtag not a CPA. Yeah. So 350 conversations from that. You should probably have closer to 20 leads. So what I would do to help them improve is if you're in a one-party states where you don't have to disclose that it's a recording, then I would listen to the recordings of the calls that they have. If you are in a 2-party state where you need to get permission to record the calls, I would be on a triple. I would be like on. I would be listening to their call with your phone on mute, and then like listen to them live for an hour a week, and just see how they are, and see how those conversations are going. Because it could mean a couple things. It could mean you don't have the right list. It could be that you didn't use batch skip tracing. You tried to use a different skip tracing service, and it's nowhere near as good as batch skip tracing, because that's a fact. And it could be that you're using some wacky script. It could be that there's a connection issue where there's a delay because their internet is too slow, or they're having a hurricane or a tsunami, or there's an earthquake, or there's a power outage, or there's something going on in some foreign country that is affecting your ability to contact them. Okay? So there's some things that you can pull apart there, but I would, to help figure that out, listen to the recordings, or I would get on with them live anyway for an hour to just listen to what they're doing, and just keep it on mute while you're doing other things, but keep your ear and mind on it. That'll really help.
You have all the KPIs lined up, right, for cold calling.
Yep.
So Gabriel, go back to that. Go back to the KPIs that Brent has out there. It's 2 things really. If somebody's hitting the KPIs and they're still not getting results, it's a training issue.
Yep.
All right. If they are not hitting the numbers, if not hitting the KPIs, it's an attitude issue. So that's an employee issue. It's human capital issue.
Yep.
So it's two different things that you can approach, right? First off, figure out.
It could be technology. Too.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, figure out where that gap is, and start there.
That was great. I love real numbers. I love that.
Especially
we got 4 minutes left in the greatest show in real estate investing.
I think.
Anthony.
100%.
Hey, Brent, I'm closing my first deal at the end of the month. Super excited. 27,000 assignment, but I'm JVing with a dispo partner. But 13,500 is awesome when it's a proof of concept on my first deal. Anthony, that is you don't know how big it is when you get that, when it's that closing day, when you get notification with whoever you're JVing with or the title company or closing attorney, whatever state you're in, and they say it's closed and recorded. Do you want to wire or do you want to pick up a check? Oh, it's a great day. It's a great day. Come on. Here we go.
Always ask for the check.
Oh yeah, hold it in your hands.
First day, always ask for the check.
Yeah. It's always nice to have the physical thing.
Yeah. Something different.
Yeah. Now it's just wires. Now Raphael and I are like, what happened? When did it come in?
You
okay.
You sent what in?
But yeah, it's still exciting. Don't let me highbrow you here. It's really still wildly exciting. Closing deals.
100%.
So congratulations. Keep it going. Fantastic. Now it's just your brain's changed. Now you know it's real. So Rhino on, brother. Love it.
Rhino on. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Rhino on.
You want
He's
the
got a
last
little
one?
rhino there.
Yeah.
Yep. What list do you recommend to cold call and market to? Driving for dollars. Easy one. Go build that. Drive it around. Or virtually drive for dollars. Deal Machine has a attachment, Google Chrome attachment that you can use Google Maps and just click on the houses and it adds it to your account. You're gonna at some point have to go after tired landlords. These are people that are non-owner occupied. They are built before 1990. They've owned it at least 7 years. I like keeping mine under like 2,500 square feet because it's a nice. It's a nice pool of buyers there that are looking for those. But you can mess around with that. You can go luxury, you can go super low, whatever it is. But just remember, we make about 10% of what the ARV is. So after repaired value, once they're really looking nice, what does that property sell for? We typically make about 10%. And I like multifamily tired multifamily lists. I like vacant lists. I like code violation lists. Listen, PropStream has it all. ttpdata.com. They literally have all the lists in there. Go through them and see which ones are the best in your market, but then also add your driving for dollars list. Then it's the same with batch leads if you're in a non-disclosure state. But I mean, listen, you could use batch leads or PropStream for pulling lists. The data is incredible, and they have it so that you can pull all these distressed lists. So they're already filtered for you. So whatever you want to do, whether it's PropStream or batch leads that you want to use them. We use them both. We literally do. Listen, anything that I tell you to use, we use them. Every single one. Every single one. So those are the two.
Boom.
Ring that bell. Oh, no, subscribe.
Subscribe.
That's you ringing the bell. But okay.
That's me ringing I got excited about me ringing the bell. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the bell button. Make sure that you turn on your notifications on your phone so that you know when new content is released, especially these incredible interviews that we do and the deal breakdowns and cold call breakdowns. We take real live cold calls and break them down so that you can really, really, really get the skills that you need to be like absolutely incredible on the phone. So that's it. Why don't you guys come on up, come on up, come on up. As always, we got Raphael here. Thank you, brother. We've got Aaron. We've got Matt. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. for Millionaire Before 30 show with Ryan Zolan. It's going to be an incredible show. So if you have some questions that didn't get answered there, join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. on this channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. And remember, as always, As always, remember, keep your house clean, protect your health, increase your value to the world, and you'll live an incredible life. I love you. Go out there and talk to somebody. See ya.